1942 is a vertically scrolling shoot-'em-up made by Capcom that was released for the arcade in 1984. It was the first game in the 19XX series, followed by 1943 the Battle of Midway. 1942 is set in the Pacific Theatre of World War II. Despite the game being created by a Japanese company and staff, the goal is to reach Tokyo and destroy the entire Japanese air fleet. This way the game is historically correct. The player pilots a plane dubbed the Super Ace, but its appearance is clearly that of a Lockheed P-38 Lightning. The player has to shoot down enemy planes. To avoid enemy fire, the player can perform a roll or loop the loop. The game was later ported to the NES, developed by Micronics, MSX, NEC PC-8801, Windows Mobile Professional and Game Boy Color. It was ported by the European games publisher Elite Systems to the Amstrad CPC, ZX Spectrum and Commodore 64. The game was included as part of the Capcom Classics collection for the Xbox and PlayStation 2 in 2005. Martin Bedard of St. Lazare, Quebec, Canada, holds the record for this game with 13,360,960 points on November 19, 2006. Section 1. Music. The music of the Commodore 64 version is based on the main verse of Ron Goodwin's 633 Squadron movie score. Section 2. Legacy. 1942 was one of Capcom's first breakaway hits, eclipsing in popularity the company's preceding three titles, Vulgus, Sun, and pirate ship Higemaru. While not as popular as some of Capcom's series that would debut later in the 1980s, Street Fighter and Mega Man in particular, 1948 would become one of Capcom's hallmark games throughout the arcade era. Although not the first game to receive a sequel, with pirate ship Higemaru receiving a Japan-only console semi-sequel, Higemaru Makajima, in April 1987, 1942 was the first Capcom title to spawn a successful series of sequels, with 5 titles in the 19XX line released from 1987 to 2000. Additionally, many of Capcom's other vertical shooters feature very similar gameplay to the series, such as Varth Operation Thunderstorm. 1942's longevity is shown through many re-releases since its introduction, principally in Capcom Generations 1 for the PlayStation and Saturn consoles. It was recently featured in the Capcom Classics Collection for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, as well as Capcom Classics Collection Reloaded for the PlayStation Portable. Section 3. 1942 Joint Strike. Main article, 1942 Joint Strike. 1942 Joint Strike is available for Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network. The Xbox Live Arcade version was released on July 23, 2008, while the PlayStation Network version was released on July 24, 2008.